What is up, guys, gals, and you awesome minions and gamers of different shapes and sizes? It is me, Josh, aka Noir Proxy, bringing you some For Honor on the PC via the closed alpha. It's so awesome that Ubisoft have allowed us to show you this gameplay of me playing some For Honor on the PC because it is it is such a fun, beautiful game. There's a little bit of a combo there, beautiful but fun. That is something that you really want when it comes to video games because, you know, obviously you want to have fun playing video games, but also you want to look at it and think, oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. I could marry it, introduce it to the parents. I'm not too sure. Maybe we'll become best friends with one of my sisters. Don't know. But once I saw For Honor at E3 about 2 years ago, I fell in love. I love the idea of samurai and knights and Vikings together, just scrummaging. Oh my goodness, that Viking is going to town on that samurai. But it was this really cool idea. What they've done is, it's like a combination. This is the way that I would kind of explain For Honor. It's Titanfall. Stay with me here. It's Titanfall mixed with Infinity Blade from the mobile phone game, you know, that thing where you kind of like, it was like Fruit Ninja but a third-person hack and slash. I like how those two just went completely down there, but I'm going to actually pick up my teammate. You can revive in this. But the way that this game works is basically for the core gameplay. Is that when I'm playing this, you may notice that there are these little arrows when I lock onto an enemy player. That basically allows me to aim in different directions with my sword, so I can aim up, I can aim left, or aim right. And what you're trying to do is hit them in the opposite direction that they're kind of guarding. So one thing that we're doing here, look, is that they're probably like aiming left, and so what I'll do is I would aim right. That means that I can actually hit them in the side. But if I hit them in the same direction that they're aiming, so if I say aim left and, no wait, so if they aim right and I aim left, then that basically means that we will block and it will kind of like clash. And so you kind of have this thing where it's all about like one-on-one sword fighting, and it's such a cool idea. I love the concept. It's so fun, and it's probably one of the best ways of doing it as well, because previously in a lot of these games you'd kind of like blindly throw your sword around and see who would like take the most damage first and stuff. But in this you actually have like a parry system, you have a block system, you actually have a fighting system. And look at this, it's like really epic and so cool. Oh my goodness, are we ready for this finisher? Oh, decapitation, baby. But really awesome, really fun. We were just fighting on Orochi there, which is one of the different variants of the samurai faction. The really cool thing is that you have 3 different factions. You have the knights, you have the Vikings, and you also have the samurai. And there's around, I think, there might be about 4. I think there's like 4 different classes per faction, which is awesome. So currently I'm playing as the female warden. There was actually a lot of diversity in this game where you have female and male classes, which is really cool. I don't know if you can play as a male warden. This is one thing. I feel like I've seen a male warden, but all the time I've been playing as a female one, which is really awesome because I love the idea of a female knight. That just seems so cool, and don't you think she looks so badass? I think she looks so badass. I love how these little like AI NPC warriors were kind of just like pounding on me. I was like, nope, I'm wearing the badass armor. I'm the one that's gonna kick your ass. We've also got another little bit of a battle here. Can I actually get out on top? Now you may notice that there's these little like flashing red directional things coming from the enemy. That is when they're about to attack, so that's kind of like them warning you to block in that direction or hit in the other direction if you do it quickly. And it's one of these things where you have a heavy attack, as you can see there. Oh my goodness, I love that finisher. There are 2 different finishers, but that is really sexy. And you have 2 different types of attack. You have your light attack, heavy attack. And it's this thing where you're basically trying to outmaneuver the enemy players through, if they do a heavy attack, then you do a light attack. If they do any form of attack, you block, or you dodge, or you try and parry. And it's this thing where if you block at the right second, you can parry them and get them back. There's also a block breaker, which is very controversial in my mind because it kind of annoys me, and I will explain that in a second. But what we're basically doing here is something kind of like Titanfall's attrition, where you're taking points, but also trying to raise your own tickets. And these tickets then kind of like lower the enemy team's lives. So if you get to 1,000, it means that the enemy team will only have 4 lives left, and they can kind of like finish. But if they get to 1,000, then they can finish you off. So it's this really cool thing of like you're kind of battling over trying to fight them to the death, in a sense, you know, by taking the capture points, which also give you health. But then, you know, if both teams get to 1,000 points, that means that there is 4 lives left per team, and it's this really epic struggle that you have. Another thing that you may notice here is when you kind of like gang up on one person, it's something that is also partially controversial. So you have 2 things that I really don't like about this game, which can bug me a little bit, but you do find that with the title For Honor, that some players actually play in the aspects of the honor system itself, where they will actually back off. And this is something that's really cool, because I haven't actually got into that yet, because I've just been kind of having fun, just like teaming up on people, and you know, it's this thing where I wanted to see, because it is an alpha, I want to see how broken that kind of system is, where you have, say, like 2v1. It's like, again, look, it happens here. Look, sometimes you do have players that are actually really good at like micromanaging like 2 players at the same time, but other times you don't. This is the other finisher you can do, which is the Y finisher. And again, look, so we got to 1,000 points there, which means that we can now finish off the enemy team. But it's this thing where you had the block break, which means, as you probably saw there, he tried to do a block break. Oh, he just fell off the building. Something that you can do is, you can kind of like, if that person's not attacking, or, you know, they kind of got like a bit of a gap, you can press X and it'll do a block break, and it means that you can then stun them and do an attack freely onto them, which is something that kind of annoys me, because sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't. And then finally you have the whole scrummaging thing, which is where basically you have 2 to 3 people on one guy, and I will talk about this in the future, because there are some better gameplay examples of how it kind of works when you do have one guy being grouped up on, say, like everybody. But basically how they do it is how to explain it quickly, is that if you are being teamed up on, you get something called frenzy mode, and that basically puts you in this phase where you can kind of take more damage so you can possibly handle more enemies. And it just doesn't work the way that you'd want it to. You'd always find, generally for me, that you're always getting teamed up on. I'm always finding that the enemy team is either trying to sneak up behind me or something like that, and it really frustrates me. But I'm hoping that they'll kind of like patch it out later on, or maybe just like fix it, tweak it, maybe just help it out a little bit, which is kind of why I've been really preferring the duels and the brawls, which is basically 1v1 or 2v2, instead of these 4v4 things, because it's not really fun when you're getting like 3 people on your ass, and yeah, I don't know, I don't really like that. But I hope you've enjoyed this gameplay. It's really, really cool, really, really awesome. We are nearing the end of this video, I believe. But you may notice as well that I'm using abilities. On the bottom left, you do actually have abilities for your character. So I have a smoke bomb at the moment, and also like a giant ass bomb. The smoke bomb actually lowers the enemy's stamina, so it means like, because obviously the enemy and your own character basically has like a stamina and health system. The stamina allows you to use attacks, while the health system allows you to stay alive. So if you can actually throw a smoke bomb at someone like here, look, it drops all their stamina. It means that you can just basically wail on them. They can't defend themselves, they can't do attacks, and it's really badass. You want that to be able to do that. We're about to finish this guy off and win, I believe. Just pounding on him. I've got like no stamina left, but I'm just going to keep throwing. Oh, there we go, I think he's dead. I think a Viking just jumped in there and helped us. Wow, victory for us. But as mentioned, comment section below, let me know. I would love to know your opinion of For Honor on the PC. You're going to get it for Xbox One, PS4. I would love to know. It's been me, Josh, aka Noir Proxy, bringing you some of this For Honor gameplay, though. And I will hopefully show you some more in the future. That was really fun, though. Did you think that was really fun? I thought it was really, really fun. And another cool thing is you actually gain loot in this game. We didn't find any this time, but you can actually scavenge for loot after the matches to customize your character and the weapons and the stats. Loads of cool stuff. But either way, ciao for now.